So Marsha, that's the market in manufacturing. So yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, I went with the planning officer and the conservation officer to visit Carnes Off. And the one overriding impression that I came away with is that if you look at Mrs. Pierce standing outside her front door, the op is beautiful. It is clean, it is swept. There's no obstructions or anything like that. And since it was shut off and has fallen between two buildings, it's become a neglected place, the playing place of pigeons. They turn up in here quite a lot. And it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And the overriding thought that I came away with was that there's a huge amount of difference between pride and profit. And I hope that we can get a bit of pride back in there eventually. So this is called the Ballad of Carnes On. Trinity, oh sorry, I should tell you, this lady stopped me while we were waiting to get out there, and she started telling me about these three guys, and she used to go and visit somebody in there as well. She told me that these three guys who used to sit on this bench, because in the op, it's called Carnes Op because Carnes Brewery used to be in there. And she said her favourite moment of going through there was when there were three old blokes out in the sunshine sitting on a bench, and one of them had a bucket of soapy water, and one of them had a dish of clean water, and the other one was sticking the labels on the bottles that he was washing and he was drying, and labels were going through a little dish of water. And they'd sit out there for days doing all Carnes bottles for them. It was a very quiet and pleasant time. What a way to spend it. A trinity of peaceful labour, industriously soaks up the sun with bottles, a bucket of water, labels back with gum, and identity to inscribe for customers discerning and committed consumers who take Marshaw's oblivion run. And Mary's apron and disciplined blouse stand below her laundry in front of her step-scrubbed house, proud of her brood of disciples whose way in the world, careers and comings to faith, return to stare at fire doors and weep over neglected tiles, who kick at the craft in gullies and conjure motherly smiles. Ah, her pasties found her space in the corner of Lampier's oven. No doubt she washed his towels and starched his doughboy hat, so survival became their bargain, while Ginger Carnes' brew matured and settled lively in his vat. Behind the market bar, old Ma pulled her pints and polished up the troubles of thirsty throats and 10-bob notes. For this was the op of two women, the way of salvation for sex, the squeals and seductions of players from the pit and actors, mothers both, one of a horde, the other of the soul, and each, without craven image or idolatry, raised in the memory to saints. And the baker and the brewer and the purveyor of all things sweet, each took turns at charity, dressed in a bargaining suit, and this was the way of love, of dreams, of redemption and illusion. Between the parade and the docks the narrow artery laid, the quiet way of assayers and clerks, the path of the old Truro town. Pigeons make mansions of bins, and unfinished works of genius of the architectural arts rise to a sky sterile and dry and full of the breath of jets. A tail dangles by a thread, thin as a spider's memory of mother and ma, of lazy days, of labelling and bottles, of pasties baking temptations so great that if Christ had been, as many wished, a Cornishman, the aroma of Mrs. Pierce's dinner would have brought him down from Calvary in time for tea. No wonder, says the mayor of Front Street from under his crown of straw, no wonder that in his, what you call 'em, gap year, Jesus sailed from Galilee to Penryn, just down river from here, and carried a thorn tree to Glastonbury to make his peace with the stones, to call the ancient and modern together in books of hymns, circle and chancel, menhir and tower, sword-blessed pool and holy well. Round the back of the GPO, beside the old prior's solemn relief, a cutting of thorn is said to grow and sprout each second year its leaf, to bless the calls of the firstborn home and ease the pain of a pining ear for the tongues of daughters lost to the beg and fortunes of farmers whose wheat and butter, barley and yeast bring to a head the risen bread and bodily symbol of golden beer, to keep the drover and stevedore, the tanner and downfallen priest close to their fear, with time indiscreet, spilling the hours from year into year, as if all would be as ever it can be, and such ways as this remain open to the heart and kiss of salvation. But here's a pigeon, mad as a tick, disturbed in its bin by a dreamer. Beware where you step! Look, a window of theatre blocked by a room to encase the air, and there, a step to nowhere, a door into darkness, a window blocked to banish the Whitsun fair. A cobble, a tile cracked, a stair, a sliver of bottle, a label faded, a shard of clay from an oven. Is this a way to open again? To conjure a hint of bread, a tang of hops on the hob, the scold of Madonna or Magdalene's supremacy in her market bar? Weekend whimsy of inns, and mothers close to their time, and shepherds and kings of harbour and time, of regiments and stannery, of theatre and cakes and love in its prime, or surrender to the pigeon that which is the pigeon's, whose trade is made with flight and rat, between cold boxes where doors never open and eyes rarely, if ever, curiously peer. Oh, tell me, who of all the angels who walk the ops of heaven, who would want to wander here through old Carn's riven lane, ever again? Oh, help me! Is that the sound of a buried town, the whisper of a disowned tongue? Are these her words to slowly form? We'll walk where our song is sung.